Good day, my name is Dela Yimban. I'm your export doctor. Thank you for stopping by on Global Trade Tutor. Used to be PBA TV, now Global Trade Tutor. We've been talking for a while now on what nobody tell you about viable export contract. And we've talked about different areas, but my focus today will be on the paperwork, documentation. So there's a section in your export contract that should talk about documentation. We've had the preamble, we've had on product, we've had on packaging, we've had on payment and different areas. But the focus today is on paperwork. Now, the important paperwork that must be documented in your contract, most importantly, has to do with the paperwork in the export market. Basically talking about what are the documentation required by the exporter to clear by the importer rather, to clear the good in the export market. So typically for many trade transactions, bill of lading, invoice, and in most cases, packing list, bill of lading or airway bill, invoice, and packing list in most cases. In some cases, only bill of lading and invoice. Bill of lading is the transport document or airway bill if it's going by air or roadway if it's going by road, and then invoice for payment. And in most cases, you have packing list where the good is packaged. Now, in addition to this, you can have some other document. And this document could include certificate of origin, depending on the country where the good is going to. Phytosanitary certificate, depending on the nature of the item being exported, particularly if agro commodity. Insurance certificate, depending on the Incoterm agree who is going to bear the cost of transport, the risk of transporting the goods from the port of flow to destination. In some cases, you might need a permit in that country or certificate of analysis or lab certificate in that country. In fact, in some countries, just let me give you an example of Nigeria. If you're importing to Nigeria, you will need sometimes SON. SON has agent that will inspect in that country. So for some country, they have agent that will inspect in your country. In the case of Nigeria, the agent will inspect in Nigeria. For example, they can use SGS, they can use Birita, they can use different inspection agents who will inspect in Nigeria. Before the good leave Nigeria. Now, so the document required, this is why when you are dealing with a rep as an exporter for the first time, and the rep has not, or whoever you are dealing with, a buyer has not imported before, particularly when you're working with friends and relatives or partners that are just starting, they need to talk to the custom broker in that country. Send the detail of the product you want to export to that country. The rep in that country will take it to the custom broker. The custom broker will now discuss with the customs or relevant agency to know what will be required to clear the goods and be able to pay the requisite fees or document that might require you pay lesser fees, like certificate of origin, for example. So a contract, a viable contract, needs to have a section for paperwork, documentation, detailing each of these documents. So for example, it will put invoice, and it will put on the invoice who should issue the invoice, in whose paper it should be issued, what the invoice should contain, for example, the unit price, the quantity, the total value, the description of the goods. The description of the goods. In some cases, it will put the Incoterms. So the Incoterm will be there, the quantity of the good will be there, the unit price will be there, the description of the good will be there, the invoice number, in some cases, the contract number will be there. And then in some cases, of course, in most cases, all cases, you have the whoever is issuing and whoever is addressing it to. This is very important. This is very important because it helps to be able to capture all the information required, particularly if it's an LC for payment. Then if it's packing list, the packing list provides the detailed inventory of the content of each packaging or container being shipped, including the type of the product, the quantity of the product, the dimension of the goods or the weight of the goods, the number of items, different variant of items. It helps the custom officials to do their inspection. It even helps the buyer in unloading the goods. It helps the exporter in loading the goods. Then you have the transport document, the bill of lading, a legal document issued by the shipping line or if it's airwaybill by the airline that serve as receipt of goods, an evidence of receipt of goods. It's an evidence of title to the goods. It's an evidence of contract of carriage. And to include information like the name and address of the shipper, the consignee, that's the importer, the notified party, the name of the carrier, the details of the goods, the vessel name, the voyage number, and other terms, container number, seal number, and other important information as required. Now, you are putting bill of lading containing A, B, C, D, E, invoice containing A, B, C, D, E, packing list containing A, B, C, D, E. So you are listing the document and you are stating what must be inside or in the document. And if there will be need for an inspection by a government representative or inspection agent, that should also be stated. A certificate of analysis, a certificate of inspection issued by so inspection company. If it's an import to Nigeria, to be certificate of SONCA certificate, Standard Organization of Nigeria Conformity Assessment Certificate. But in this case, it can, whatever name they call it, it will now be stated. Now, remember, this is an agreement between buyer and seller. The agreement is to state the details of documentation required. If it's a certificate of origin, it's a document that certifies the country in which the goods were produced or the goods were manufactured, and is required by custom to authorities to determine the eligibility of the goods for preferential treatment under a free trade agreement. Under a free trade agreement, or assess import duties or tariffs in the export market. If it's an agro commodity, you might require a phytosanitary certificate. This is required to certify the exported goods is free of pests, free of diseases, free of contaminants, free of anything that importing countries do not want in their country. Then you have the insurance certificate. If the Incoterm says it's a CIF or CIP in which the exporter is expected to be the one to bear the cost of insurance to the destination. The insurance certificate may be provided to evidence that the good is being insured against risk such as loss or damage or theft in transit. It typically includes detail of insurance coverage, the insured party, the insured value, and the terms of the insurance policy will also be stated in the document. There could be any other document. What the section on paper will basically contain is every document required by the buyer and his agent and the country where the good is going. And these documents are required to clear the good in the export market. Has this video been of any benefit to you on the documentation section in your export contract? If yes, give it a thumbs up. Do you have a friend that is about to sign the contract for export? Share with your friends. Do you have a question for me? Please drop your question in the comment section. Are you new to Global Trade Tutor and you would like to learn more about international trade? Please click on the subscribe button and notification bell so you will know when we upload video. And by the way, we upload video almost every weekday from Monday to Friday. There's a short video, 10 to 15 minutes video that you will see on this platform almost every day. My name is Dele Ayemibo and I'm your export doctor and I'm signing out.